I want to talk about how to deal with academic workers that want to take advantage of you in various different degrees. And so this video is really geared towards those folks. Maybe you are an assistant professor, maybe you're a full professor, maybe you're PhD students or master students, and you're thinking about, man, somebody's really taking advantage of me. And I'm going to be probably I'm upfront about this. It's probably true. They probably are taking advantage of you, but it's really about the nature of the beast. And I want to talk about that today. So the idea in academic culture is that you have to produce as much as you possibly can. And this creates a tremendous amount of anxiety and stress on many people that are involved in it. And everybody feels this, that they are unproductive. They feel that they are undeserving. They feel that they should be further ahead. All these sort of markers. If you talk to people, there'll be so much bragging that goes on, and all of the culture is about how much we should work and checking off all these boxes of demonstrating to the outside world that we are somehow worthy of something, right? That's the whole culture. That's what's bred into the entire system. And I want to talk about something that creates, right? So this creates these moments whenever there is moments of ambiguity or moments where you don't quite know what you're doing. Somebody is going to fill in that gap and take advantage of that particular situation. And often I believe that that is because we have different personality traits in different ways. I've learned how to manage much of this with my personality trait is that I am, if you get to know me, I'm very a lot more meek. I don't like confrontation. I don't like, taking advantage of people. My sort of default is to work harder and let somebody else sort of take the credit. That's just who I am as my personality, and I've learned to sort of reverse this a little bit over time and sort of have markers that I am demonstrating to the outside world. And I don't like doing that kind of stuff, but it's something that I've had to learn to do to the outside world of what this is. So what's going to happen is that you're going to be working on a project, or you're going to work on any number of different things. Maybe it is a committee and somebody's going to jump up and they're going to take complete responsibility for that committee, or you're going to do a bulk of the work and they're going to take responsibility of that particular work. And that is completely fine if they want to do that. And that's where I want for you to sort of think about this is, yes, there is a lot of unfairness that happens, and people do jump up and take credit for things. There are people that because of their personality traits, they'll be more likely to do this kind of stuff. And now you can get into a very aggressive mode and sort of fight that particular behavior. And I've learned to sort of realizing that you have to sort of pick and choose the fights that you want to be in and the battles that you want to be in. Now you can choose to sort of fight those things all the time, or you can choose just to not be part of those particular battles, right? And let people sort of play their games, whatever those particular games are, and just kind of detach from all of it. And I know it's super hard. I've learned to have my boundaries in how I am and live my life to the best that I can possibly live it, given who I actually am. And if other people are going to play those games, you have to sort of allow yourself to let go of that kind of stuff. And I know it's super hard, because what you're going to see is some people, take off in various different ways, or seemingly take off, and they'll become super prestigious so-and-so, and, everybody will give them accolades and all of that kind of stuff. But you have to sort of let go of that and realize that and they know about what's actually going on. And you just have to live your life in as best as a way that you possibly can live it. So sometimes that means, um, you know, not getting credit for something, for example. That sometimes that means being standoffish in various different ways. And so you have to sort of take a step back and realize that life is too short to get into all of those political battles, because that's all it is, right? It's all just political battles, and somebody is going to go and become amazing so and so and all of that kind of stuff. But then you have to realize, how am I going to be? What am I going to be when I'm 80 years old? What do I want to call myself? Who do I? How do I sort of stand? It's a lot of fluffiness and sort of ethical stuff and the nature of your identity and how you sort of believe that your identity is and what that actually looks like, right? And so you'll see some amazing, extraordinary individuals that have been doing the whole academic game for a long time, and they're probably not getting nearly as much sort of credit as what they should be, right? And that happens all the time. You simply just have to take a step back and be okay with that kind of nature of the beast. It's because people sort of step in whenever there's ambiguity and sort of fill the void of that, and then they'll take charge, seemingly take charge of the situation, and take advantage. To some degrees, it's sort of taking advantage of the situation. In some ways, that people would say that was a really positive thing, but in other ways, it's not so positive. So I want you to question yourself in terms of who you want to be and how you want to behave and what does that actually look like. And I'm not saying to be a martyr. I'm not saying to go out and be a saint or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying pick and choose your battles in terms of who you are as an individual, and realize that because of the stakes of the environment, right, that the way that it's rewarded, the incentive system, all that kind of stuff, because of all of that sort of behavior, it rewards certain kinds of behaviors in certain kinds of environments. Now, in the current environment, you could probably suggest that that is okay, right? But is it going to be that way in 30 years? Is it going to be that way in 40 years? I don't know, right? And I would presume the best possible way might not ever be like this, but the best possible way is for you to live a life that you would model after for future generations, and whatever that would look like. And so that means a balance of being a little bit exploitive in the situation, but often it means being more generous with who you are as an individual. It means being somewhat reserved, not calculated in terms of taking advantage of the situation, but being reserved, I think, is a perfect way to sort of think about this, where you are looking at the situation, you know what's going on, but then you think about, what is the long run play here? How am I going to feel about the situation? And if you can live with something for a short time, maybe that's what you have to do. But if you can't, if it's an egregious sort of thing that's happening, by all means, address it. I tend to go too long before I address things, but I'm learning to, address things a little quicker than I used to, and learning to put up more boundaries in my life to show that I'm okay with who I am. And I think that's where we need to sort of go to, is realize that all of this, the sort of context of what we play in, allows people to take advantage of other people with the sort of layers of status and all of that kind of stuff that happens. But you have to sort of choose to live your life as if you are thinking about yourself as if you're like 80 years old and you're looking back and saying, I did those things because I think I'm a good person. And I might not have played by those games, and I let other people play by those games. And the reason why I'm okay with this lots of people are going to watch these videos, but those people that play by these games are never going to watch these videos because they are very much infatuated with themselves. They believe that they're right and all of that kind of stuff, and they'll never sort of do things to grow as a person. It's just true. That's just who they are. That's their personality traits. Right? They believe that they can never become better than who they are right now, right? And if you look at that and you realize this, you can grow as a person. You kind of, in your head, you take a step back and you think, wait a minute, do I have to play by those games? And then you see those things happening and you're realizing what's going on and you're okay with it, given with who you are, and you let those things go on. And every single senior faculty that is doing things for a long time, they kind of get like that. They kind of sort of see that, yes, there's lots of games, and it's goofy, and people take advantage of other people, but you have to simply walk your walk and be okay with it. And that's it. All right, take care, and have a wonderful day.